Guys, I apologize. We had just a little lag in the internet. For some reason, I just couldn't unmute myself, and I was trying to show you that you could find the definition of these words in the actual footnotes. So destitute is referring to people that lack the necessities of life, and we put it basically in simple terms: people who do not have enough money, that are suffering, that are going through poverty. Okay, so during Christmas, a time of giving, those in destitute, destitute actually, during Christmas, we can say something else. During Christmas, which is a time of giving those in destitute, Scrooge refused to help the poor. Okay, so this is where we see destitute, again, needy, those in need. A poulterer, people who sell poultry, okay, such as chickens and turkeys. And we saw this word. Yes, I'm going to post this for you guys on SMS so that you would have the answers, the model answers. Okay, so always to always have it. Okay, to have it as something to study from. All right. So again, the definition of a poulterer: someone who sells chickens and turkeys and things that are that edible animals. All right. And a sentence for that, we can say Scrooge sent a young boy. Yes, a young boy to the poulterer to buy him, or to buy a prized turkey. That means it's big in size. A prized turkey is something that is big. Okay, so here again, poulterer is, and if we look at the, yes,
I wrote the poultry sold 20 wild birds yesterday.
perfect. That's a good one too. Good job. You can use it in your paper. Good job. Folderol means foolishness. Okay, all right. Um, um, during the session, the teacher did not appreciate the students' folderol or foolishness. Okay, acting foolish, acting silly. Okay, so it's the same meaning. Okay, alrighty. Then finally, dowry, and we discussed this before when we saw the sweetheart, Scrooge's sweetheart, that he refused to marry because she came from a poor family and she could not afford to give him a dowry. And we saw that, and here we see the dowry is usually money or property. A property here means buildings, apartments, whatever it is. To do what? To give to the husband that she wants to marry. And this is something that was traditional back in the day. I don't think it's common anymore, but this is what the dowry is. And here we can say um, the women the woman came from a poor family and could not afford a dowry. All right, to present to her groom. Okay, the person that she's going to marry is the groom. Okay, so
Plus, I wrote his family hoped that his bride would be a large dowry.
good, perfect, good one. All right, so I'm gonna save these. Any questions, by the way, about these sentences? Uh,
No.
everyone understands these words?
Just I have a question.
Yes.
Yes, sure, go ahead.
In scene 1 and 2, they had also vocab
No,
and
these
the
are not
vocab.
going to be included. These are just that was me trying to show you the words that you might not understand, and for you to
Yes.
get them, so it could be like a little dictionary for you.
Oh, okay.
But the vocab quiz words are these.
Okay.
All right. So here, these are the answers. I'm going to upload them now as we're speaking, so that you guys could have uh, um, vocab sheet answers for a Christmas Carol. I'm going to submit them. They have the definition, they have the part of speech, and they have sentences. Please make your own sentences in your worksheet. You can use, of course, my definition because we agreed on these definitions. But for you to use your own sentences would be much more beneficial. All right. In scene 4, we answered until scene 3 together in the class, and we took notes. So let's look at scene 3 to scene 4 together. In scene 4, we have here the Christmas. How does the spirit of Christmas present appear to look like? We saw that each spirit had an appearance, a very distinct appearance. How
Miss,
did
can
the
I answer?
spirit of Christmas? Yes, can you just may you raise your hand?
Uh,
Go
okay.
ahead, go ahead, ya Muhammad, please.
He looks like Fezwig.
Bravo. All right, it looks like Fezwig. And who could remind me who Fezwig is? You raise your
As the
hand.
old master of Scrooge.
Good job. He is Fezwig is Scrooge's old master, the one that he taught him the skills, and we know that Scrooge apprenticed. Apprenticed means that he trained under him, okay, or for him, and he taught him the basics of the trade, and he helped him become who he are. Okay. All right. Where does the spirit take Scrooge? Okay, we know that this is in the present. Okay, and of course we know that in the present that means they stayed in England, and we saw Scrooge says, we're gonna be here in England, and he says yes. Where does he take him in England? Where? All right, Ibrahim, can you please explain? How about Marwa? I haven't heard from you. You guys need to participate. Remember, there's a grade for participation, guys. Just because you're home, it doesn't mean that we're not participating. You still have to have a grade for participation. So I would highly appreciate if you get involved in class discussion. This is something that we read, and I recommended you guys to read it over the break as well so that you guys don't forget it. So please help me out here. And Marwa, can you please help me understand where does the Christmas spirit take him in the present? Where does it take
Miss,
Scrooge?
it doesn't take him English.
Remember, the story is in England, so they don't
Oh,
leave the country. Okay,
but
I'm gonna
they
take it.
went to Bob.
Wait.
They
Go
went
ahead,
to Bob.
Ibrahim.
They went to Bob Cratchit's house.
Good job. They did. It did take him to Bob Cratchit's house. Good job. Okay, it took him to
Miss,
Bob
and
Cratchit.
after Bob Cratchit's house, he went to Fred's house.
At the end, he asked him to take him somewhere happy, and he told him the only happy place that I can take you to is Fred's house. And Scrooge refused. He said no, no, no. All right, so he does not take him to Fred's house. The only time that we see him go to Fred's house, ya Muhammad, is going to be at the end of the play, which is going to be in scene 6. Okay, so it's
Okay.
going to be in scene 6 at the end. So here he takes him to Bob Cratchit's house, and this is basically the only place that he takes him. All right. While he's going to Bob Cratchit's house, we meet a funeral and a child's coffin. All right, and it was basically on page 402. Remember, scene 4, by the way, starts on page 402. If you guys need to follow with me in your textbooks, it would be highly recommended. All right, so it starts on page 402. So how about Adam Walsall? Can you please tell me, Adam, what does the coffin and the funeral symbolize in the story?
Symbolizes a child's death.
Good. Okay. A child's potential's death. So it helps us here. It could predict, or we could foreshadow. What does it mean to foreshadow? Foreshadow means to predict something that could happen in the future. Okay, so here we can see a child's potential death, or it could also help us to foreshadow the loss of Tiny Tim's loss. Okay, it could help us foreshadow Tiny Tim's loss. All right, that he's no longer with us. All right, the family's gonna lose him. Okay, thanks, Adam. The next one here is to characterize Mr. Cratchit and Mrs. Cratchit and discuss their living conditions. Let's first discuss with their living conditions. Are they wealthy? Are they living a leveraged, a comfortable life? How is their life like? Okay, how is their life like? How about let's hear from Mark. Mark, can you please tell us how are the Cratchits living? What kind of living conditions are they living in? Mark, are you there?
Miss Mike's mic is not working.
Okay. All right. How about we hear from Ruqayya? Can you explain to us, Ruqayya, please? Okay, Ruqayya, I can't hear you. All right, let's go to Noura. All right, do I have any volunteers to answer this
What can I
question?
say?
Okay, go ahead, Muhammad.
Cratchit's house was poor.
Good job. All right, so they live in poor living conditions. What are some things that could help you understand that?
That the house isn't it's
All
not
the
really good
children,
property.
right? At the stage directions, what do they tell us? That all the Cratchit's children, they sleep in one
Sleep on
bed,
one bed.
right? And she covers them with she pulls a dark blanket over them. All right, so we can see all of Cratchit's children sleep in one bed. Okay, and we can tell that they're living in poor conditions, and also Mr. Cratchit can't afford to be deducted. He can't afford to have his wages deducted from him. Okay, so this is another thing that could make us understand that he is living in that they're living in poor living conditions. How would you describe Mrs. Cratchit? What is an adjective that we could use to describe her? What kind of person is she?
I know
Okay, Ibrahim, please.
that we can describe her that she is kind and a loving woman.
Good, kind and loving. And what is your evidence to support
Or
that
is
answer?
good.
That she treats her children good.
Good. She's taking care. She's very. We could tell that she's very kind with her children. She's singing to them before they go to sleep. She kisses them, and she's very caring towards Bob Cratchit also. All right, and we see that in the
Miss,
upcoming scene.
but only Miss Cratchit is nice to the people who's kind. Even she said that she's really sad. She really sad for her husband for working with such a man
Exactly. And the
like
only
Mr.
time we see her
Scrooge.
really saying anything negative is when she discusses or when she describes Scrooge. Exactly. So she's caring with
Can
her
I
children
ask
and
a
she's
question?
Oh, yes, of course. She sings to them and puts and covers them with a
This is the
blanket.
question. Is Mr. Cratchit blind?
She's what?
Is Mr. Cratchit blind?
Is Mr. Cratchit blind?
No,
No,
he's like.
he isn't. He isn't.
I opened yesterday and I see that he said that Mr. Cratchit is like kafif, like he doesn't see or he sees and work and like that.
You know, he's definitely not blind. He's working and he's performing his job with Mr. With Scrooge. And he helps him around the shop and stuff. So he's not blind. All right. How would you describe Mr. Cratchit? What are some adjectives that we can describe Mr. Cratchit? We know that he's very giving to his job, right? And whenever Scrooge needs him, he's there for him, right? So we can say that he's dedicated, okay, and he's also hardworking, okay,
And
because
also kind.
and he's very kind, and and he's tolerant. What do I mean by tolerant? I mean that he's able to put up with Scrooge, all right. And my evidence for that is that he is devoted to his job and helps Scrooge. He also puts up with Scrooge's rude ways and how he and his and treatment, okay, as he obligates him to come to work on Christmas Eve. We see that he doesn't rebel. Okay, Mr. Cratchit doesn't say, you know what, I'm not coming. No, but he doesn't fight back. So we know that he's very peaceful. He's a peaceful man who doesn't argue. All right, what is
However,
time? Yes.
but can I answer on
Yes,
this
what is
question?
Tiny Tim's condition? Anybody else
Uh,
besides Muhammad and Ibrahim? Anybody else? I would like for you to raise your hand, please. Anybody else wants to answer this question? What is Tiny Tim's condition?
Can I say it?
Besides Muhammad and Ibrahim, anybody else?
why?
You guys are participating only. I need the class to be involved. Tala, Zina, did Ward leave the meeting? Mm. How about Marwa? Are you there, honey? Can you answer this question for us? What is Tiny Tim's condition?
He's very sick.
Yes, he's very sick. What's wrong with him? Okay, Muhammad Walid, please help her.
That he's crippled.
He's crippled. Good job. All right, and this is
He,
the condition.
and
He
he's
is
really
crippled.
weak, and he might die.
Good
He's
job.
thrilled to die.
Right. And crippled means it's referring to the idea of not being able to walk. All right. And
Like Johnny.
yes, like Johnny, potentially crippled. How about Adam? I'd love to hear from you, Adam. Can you please tell me why, Adam, did he say, why does Tiny Tim say that he wants people at church to see him? Why?
Because he knows that he will die soon.
Send him for them to send him their prayers.
And donations.
Remember him on Christmas Day and to pray to him.
Good job. All right, to remember him.
Said the prayers.
Good job, Ahmed. To remember him and pray for him on such a special day as Christmas. All right, and he says to remember him and to remember who was able to, when he says it right here, to remember upon Christmas Day who made the lame to walk and the blind to see. That means that he believes that basically that God has the capability to give him back his health. All right. and might be pleasant to them to remember upon Christmas Day, who made the lame to walk and the blind to see. So, and also, if people look at him, they will understand that they're blessed. Okay, they can people can see him as a reminder of God. All right, that God is capable of making the blind see and making the crippled, making the lame walk. Okay, so this is what his intentions are.
That's
He
what
wants
is a lame.
a lame is the same exact as crippled. Lame, like someone with a lame foot, something that's not working in their body. Okay.
Okay.
All right, let's go to the next one here. Okay, we got that one. How does Miss Scratcher speak about Scrooge? All right, and we need to remember the 3 adjectives that she calls him.
Yes,
Can
can I
say?
answer?
Okay. Whoever who knows the 3 adjectives.
Me.
Okay, both of you. Okay, Ahmed, Muhammad, give us one.
That he is selfish.
All right, when she discusses Scrooge, she first calls him. The first
Stingy.
thing that she calls him is stingy. Good job. She calls him stingy. What else?
And not caring.
Greedy.
Oh, stingy is the same as greedy. She calls him hard. Remember? She calls him hard
And unfeeling.
and unfeeling.
Unfair.
There's one more word. There's actually 4 adjectives. She calls him stingy, hard, unfeeling, and there's one more.
Cold-hearted.
Yeah, we said that cold-hearted is unfeeling. She calls him odious.
Yes, and he deserves to be dualated.
He
Toileted.
deserves to be disliked. All right, and this is the
Yes.
word that we're using. It means odious. All right, and odious means that he deserves to be disliked. This is what it means. Okay, that Scrooge actually is a man that deserves to be disliked or hated because of his ways.
Miss, can I say what does little Tim and what does tiny Tim enjoy doing?
Yes, of course. Number 7. What does Tiny Tim enjoy doing? Please answer that for us.
He enjoys to do singing, but he's unable because he is still like crippled, and
Exactly.
the wild weather make it worse.
Exactly. The cold weather is making him sicker. Good job. So he enjoys to sing. Tiny Tim enjoys to sing, and of course we know that Bob Cratchit insists to wake him up for him to share a song with them. And here we see that he enjoys singing. All right, so Tiny Tim enjoys singing. And enjoys singing. Father or Bob Cratchit wanted him to wake up to sing them a Christmas song, but here we see that he was unable. All right, even singing wasn't didn't lift his spirits. Even singing didn't lift his spirits because he is because the cold weather is making him wither. All right, and we said to wither means to like basically to here to die down. All right, it's to become seriously ill. Okay, describe how the spirit treats Scrooge. We said that this spirit was known to be very sarcastic, right? Who could remind us? Who could remind us how the spirit is different from the other spirits? How is the spirit treating Scrooge?
With kindness.
With kindness or with sarcasm?
Kindness and
Sarcasm.
the reverse psychology.
Yes, it's definitely using reverse psychology. Every time Scrooge says something, the spirit reminds Scrooge of something that's totally the opposite that he had used or that he used in other situations. So it's kind of like reminding Scrooge of all his bad lines. Okay.
Like Scrooge saying to the spirit of the present spirit, telling him that don't tell me that Tiny Tim's gonna die, and then the spirit says, why? Let them die. Maybe they will decrease the population.
Exactly. Good. All right. So here the spirit is sarcastic. Okay. It uses Scrooge's exact lines that he used in the Gentleman Visitor. To remind Scrooge of how cold-hearted he sounds. All right. So every time Scrooge is feeling some type of pity, the spirit reminds Scrooge of all the words that he used, especially with the gentleman visitor when he says, "Let them die and decrease the surplus of the." Um, so if he be like to die, he had better do it and decrease the surplus of the surplus population. If he be like to die, he had better do it and decrease the surplus population. All right, this is the line that he is reminding Scrooge of. All right, he does it quite often. What does Scrooge want from the spirits? From the spirit, he asks the spirit enough. He doesn't want to see Tiny Tim anymore because he knows that Tiny Tim is facing such a horrible future. All right, death may be one of the things that he might face.
He wants to teach him and show him more and take him somewhere happy.
Good. He wants the spirit to show him more and to teach him more.
And he went to Fred's house.
Good job. He offers. He tells him, if you want
He
somewhere
tells
happy,
him
I can take you to. The only happy
Fred's
place
house.
in the present is your nephew's house. And Scrooge says,
And he
no.
says no, he doesn't
Exactly. He
want.
doesn't want to go. So this is, yeah, exactly, Muhammad. Okay. So what does Scrooge want from the spirit? He wants the spirit to show him more and to teach him more. But again, this is the Christmas present. It only has one day to choose from. Not like the future, not like the past where they showed him a lot of things. So the Christmas present says, I can't show you anything else because I only have now to show you. So I don't have a lot of choices. All right.
So present is shorter than the
Exactly.
future and the past.